exactly 9 minutes past 8 o'clock, and welcome back from the first session of the education debate. We are back with the second session of the education debate that has another motion. And we have the proposers and the opposers. And this time in the House, I can see that there are some ladies representing, other than the previous session that we did not have any lady amongst the debaters. So our motion this time is punishment of children by caning necessary in an African setting. I think you will all agree with me that that is our motion of today, and it's going to run from exactly 8 p.m. up to 9 p.m. And our dear debaters, our dear honorable speakers, I want to tell you that you are going to take exactly 5 minutes to present your point. And you're going to start by introducing yourself, your course, and the subjects you're measuring in, and then you go direct to the point. Thank you so much. Let me start from my right.
Thank you, dear modulator, for this opportunity. So with the resolution today, is punishment of children by caning still necessary in African setting? Well, we strongly affirm to this resolution. First of all, caning a child refers to Okay. Okay. Dear modulator, thank you for this opportunity. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So today's resolution is punishment of children by caning still necessary in African setting. We strongly affirm to this resolution. Caning of a child refers to hitting or striking them with a stroke or a cane, and we find this very necessary, especially in home settings and then in school settings. My name is Lake Adriana Okot. I'm doing education, majoring in chemistry and mathematics. So the advantages of this act is, first of all, caning has stood the test of time, since this is an activity or this is an action that started way back, and up to now it still continues. So one of the advantages of this is, one, caning sets a clear boundary and motivates children to behave in school and to, act the way they are supposed to. We know that children make better decisions about their behavior or exercise self-control, and they're accountable for their actions when they understand the penalty for when they understand that the penalty for misbehaving is compatible to their actions. And then caning is also a very quick punishment. You know that if you cane a child and it's swift, takes a very short time, and then it's very fast, it's actually usually the best way. It's important to punish difficult and juveniles in a swift and effective way. This teaches them the firm lesson, and then so that they don't make the same mistake again. Caning is a very stern way of implementing discipline to the child, and it's within the parental rights, which was established in very many articles. For example, we are having the PRA and Carry article, which was published, and it strongly affirms to this. When you give an academic educationalist that flexibility to make your child understand the way it's supposed to be done, you give them that right, because some children are difficult. Not all children are the same. Some children are going to work with only dialogue and it's just enough. But some people are juvenile. They do so many crazy things, and just talking is not going to work for them. It's after you've inflicted some pain on them that they know that, you know what, if I do this again, I'll be caned. That is the only way that they will understand. So sometimes you need to do this in order to make the kid know that, you know what, if I do this again, there's going to be a consequence. I'll be caned again. I'll get pain again. So I think it's a very necessary thing. And then it was even supported by the Supreme Court in 1977. I think if you can look that up, you'll find it there. And caning is very fundamental in that it also instills some rights and some values in a child or something. One thing that people misunderstand is, like, for example, in a school, they think caning instills fear. That child is not fearing the teacher. You're fearing the punishment. Because you know that, you know what, if I steal again, I'll be caned. You're not fearing the teacher, no, you're fearing the punishment. So it is very effective. The only difference, the only problem is when you do it too much.
Just less than a minute.
Thank you. So I don't really think I have anything else to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are going to have a question from the opposing side. Any question for her, please? Okay.
Thank you so much. Just listening. She actually mentioned it and said it clearly that some children only understand when you cane, which not all of them. And then my question is, which evidence do you have that caning is still necessary, is still going on in the day-to-day world? Thank you.
Both of them are.
Okay.
First of all, you're not going to tell me that you've never been caned in your school. This is the current era, whereby if a teacher gives you work and you don't do it, you might actually be caned for it. Some schools have stopped the act, but very many, the largest percentage, are still continuing with this act.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. And we are going direct to the opposing side. And you start with your name, your course, and go direct to the point. You have strictly 5 minutes to present all your points.
Thank you. Thank you, moderator. My name is Kisa Alex, a student of education offering literature and English. I'm here to strongly negate the resolution that states that is punishment of children by caning still necessary in African setting. I would first of all begin by defining key terms in the resolution, of which my sister, first of all, she defined caning of a child as hitting or striking a child using a stroke, of which we all agree to that. But then, which type of a stroke? It's either wooden or mental. Then she didn't define for us what a punishment means. According to my team, punishment means it's a penalty or consequence imposed on an individual for a perceived wrongdoing. Therefore, at this point of debate, we need to clearly interpret the resolution, what it means. As team negatives, the resolution means it is in a rhetorical way, is corporal punishment which involves wiping, necessary for a perceived violation of children in the current African setting. Therefore, at this point, we need to talk about our setting being listed as Africa. Then we need to break it down into where caning is supposed to take place. We have two settings, that is schools, and then we have homes. So from that point of view, I would like to begin from our status quo. As associates involved, so do our perspectives on child rearing. Many African communities are embracing more progressive approaches to parenting that prioritize the holistic well-being of children and how their rights and dignity can be well exhibited. I would begin from what my sister has been presenting. First of all, we all clashed, like she clashed on her definition of caning a child, which we all know it's hitting or striking a child. But then, what I'm surprised is that our sister from the affirmative side, she didn't clarify to us the after impacts of caning a child. And during the process of caning a child, what happens? And it happens because of what? Then also she told us that caning a child depends on the type of the child. We all agree it depends on the type of the child. But then she has not clarified to us, caning that child, depending on that child. So under what circumstances is a child going to be caned? If you are going to cane that child, which type of crime that is that child going to commit that you are going to cane that child? Besides that, she also talked about, she also said that caning does not instill fear in a child. I'm one who has grown from a family where my dad used to wipe me in case I failed physics. And when he used to cane me,
Mr. Speaker, you have less than a minute.
Thank you. When she used to cane me, I would mostly look at the situation like when I'm bringing my report card home, I would still put more clothes into my trousers such that I don't receive the pain. In fact, this is what I would say as team negatives would like to, first of all, emphasize on the after impacts of caning a child. First of all, it's going to cause physical and psychological harm to a child. And if a child is psychologically tortured, we all know the after impacts. Someone's going to be traumatized throughout his life. And then as team negatives, we say wipe not child. And caning a child is more of bringing up a rebel that is willing to withstand any kind of pain. Therefore, as team negatives, we rest our case.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. A very good scientific lecture. Appreciate that. Any question from the proposing side? When you're asking a question, please start with your name.
My name is Samba Abdallah Haman, aka Voice of the Voiceless. Without wasting time, I would like to inform my fellow honorable from the negative side that he was not so that keen on listening, because he asked a question when he was starting his introduction that he didn't see the after impact of one being caned, whereby I'm sure that my colleague mentioned the impacts which are even positive. And he was also asking a question whereby he was like, which type of crimes can one commit so that he can be caned? Whereby we mentioned the number of crimes that one can do and then is given such kind of a punishment. Remember, we're not torturing someone, but we are caning someone so that we put someone on the right path. Thank you.
Your question, what's your question?
My question is going to my honorable, because when he was starting his motion, he was asking our fellow honorable from the affirmative side that he didn't understand the after impact of one being caned, and then he also didn't understand the type of a crime a child can do so that is being submitted to being punished through caning.
Thank you for your additions. In fact, they are just additions. But then, let me specify the question more. I said, if the child is being caned, what are going to be the after impacts on a child after being caned? Then another question was like, if you cane the child, what do you expect from his physical appearance, his psychological appearance? That's why in my presentation, I had to first of all front the negative after impacts of caning a child as a means of enforcing discipline.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. from the opposing side. Let us go direct to the proposing side. And Mr. Speaker, you have less than 5 minutes. Start with your name.
Thank you, moderator, for giving me this wonderful chance. My name is Nduga Ashraf from Bachelor of Science Education, Physics, Math. According to the resolution in the House, is punishment of children by caning still necessary in the African setting? I positively believe that it is still necessary in African setting. First of all, caning is also justified based on the belief that without pain, there is no gain, according to the article of Rabbi Banin of 1998. And we see that caning a child is a way of proper bringing up the child. Because if you see in the current situation, the increasing rate of moral degeneration is all about that caning and the punishment of the child. Gone are the days there where the children in the African setting were brought up being caned to follow the straight path so that they don't do such mistakes in life. According to another article of Vegas of 1999, schooling teaches people to believe that without the threat of stick or public rebuke, they will become lazy and fail to exert force required to learn new things. And according to Islam, it is a responsibility of the parent to punish children or the person given to the chance by the parent to punish the child, and also the caretaker of the child to punish the child when the child has refused to say perform prayers, and it is found in Bukhari. Then many people say that according to the Westerners that there is no caning, and that they have some moral behaviors which are good, but they are technologically advanced. But for Africans, we are sociologically advanced in terms of family upbringing. When it comes to proper behavior of the African child, we still remain the best just because of the caning and what? Caning as the proper bringing up of the children.
Mr. Speaker, you have less than a minute.
And I think, Madam Moderator, I have nothing to say about that.
Okay, any
Thank
questions from the one question, please? Just one person. Okay.
Good evening, listeners. My name is Olimba Bernard. Let me first clarify on your point where you say that caning a child that without pain or like without pain no gain. Please, that thing is not under, or it's not under. It's not literally of. Okay, it's not a mark. My question is that I'm just clearing this one. Pain without no pain or what did you say? Pain no gain.
He said that without pain there is no gain.
Without pain no gain. So that thing, it works on hard working. It's like hard working. It doesn't lie on these issues of caning a kid. You see? Yeah.
My name once again, I'm Samba Abdallah Hamad, aka Voice of the Voiceless. I'm defending
You're defending your colleague.
I'm defending my colleague.
Yes.
I'm defending my colleague for the question that you're trying to clarify. You said that clear it away, but you don't even know what you're clearing away, because we asked for pardon and they repeat for you what you had said earlier, and then you want to again act upon it. But he said the proverb says that without pain there is no gain. Even in the Bible, God said, "Eat in your sweat." You struggle, you suffer, you look for money, then that through that pain you gain. Even you at school, you studying, you sit the back of
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for defending your colleague. Our dear listener, you still listen to 93.1 Iuiu FM, and our motion today is punishment of children by caning necessary in an African setting. And let us go direct to our opposing side in less than 5 minutes, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate each and everyone in this room, and the listeners who are out there. My name is Mandu Wycliffe, pursuing a Bachelor's of Arts Education, majoring in literature in English language. To this wonderful moment, allow me please take this opportunity to once again introduce the motion of the debate. Is punishment of children by caning still necessary in an African setting? To my own understanding, I disapprove the motion, basing on my following views. To begin with, I'll talk about an aspect of cultural evolution. A philosopher known as Adams, in his book of Evolution of Culture, he says children learn by getting exposed to environment where there are good moral acts. And then for this case, Amand Wycliffe. And then for this case, I'm trying to justify this point of cultural evolution, trying to disapprove the motion. Cultural evolution simply means the transition, or rather change of cultures according to the generations. And for this case, we are speaking about an African setting. And an African setting is where we mostly see what we call cultural evolution. And in cultural evolution, we are speaking about change in generations.
A very good evening, our dear listener. You're still tuned in to 93.1 Iuiu FM. It's exactly 37 minutes past 8 o'clock, and we are back with our education debate. And this debate is going to be running starting from today, the 19th of October, up to 28th of October, here at 93.1 Iuiu FM. On weekdays, it's going to be running from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., and on weekends, it'll be running from 12 noon up to 2 p.m., where we shall be having education students starting from year 1, year 2, and year 3. They'll be battling themselves here in the studios of 93.1 Iuiu FM. Let us continue with our debate, and we are going back to our speakers who are going to be telling us more on our motion that states, is punishment of children by caning necessary in an African setting? Let us go back to that debate.
Once again, the moderator. Thanks for this great opportunity given to me. My name is Samba Abdallah Haman. I'm doing education, Bachelor's of Education in Islam and Computer Studies. The resolution tonight states that is punishment of a child by caning still necessary in African setting. I strongly affirm the resolution tonight. For the research made, we discovered that the importance of punishment in education setting is both fundamental and backed up by the Supreme Court in 1977. Remember, we have the courts of law and also have the Supreme Court. By 1977, that punishing of a child was fundamental and then was still backed up by the same time. Remember, for one to be punished, remember here we're looking about caning someone. The format of punishing a child we are looking at tonight is caning. And then I want our dear listeners to know that caning someone is very quick. It's a quick punishment whereby a child is said to lie down, 2 or 3 strokes are given to that child, and it's done. But remember, this child is at school, he needs time to go read books. In case he's given a different punishment, which is cruel, will take his time. But caning someone, it is just for a short time. You direct someone, cane 2 or 3 strokes, and then he goes and does some other thing. Remember, even some children or students often choose being caned than being subjected to any other form of punishment. Because I can give you an example, like gone are the days in primary. I remember one day when I messed up, my teacher told me to fetch water from the nearby borehole as I fill a big tank. It was a punishment, but had he just caned me 2 or 3 strokes and I go to class, it would save time for me. That's why I say to cane someone is very good, because it is quick, and then one goes and does another form of activity. And then we see that caning is an immediate behavior correction, because I remember very well, if one is subject to be caned, it takes just a little period of time. It does not take long, which means it is an immediate behavior correction. One is corrected there and then, and it is done. Than subjecting someone, like giving him too much workload, and it is hectic. Remember, one should note that when you're a child growing up, we do make all mistakes, and I'm aware that the indicators also believe that they do make mistakes. And I'm aware that they also feel like to be caned, it is quick, and they cane you and go do other stuff.
Mr. Speaker, you have less than a minute.
For the time given, it could be less, but I would like to inform you that even the Almighty God punished those who wronged. We see that in Surah Al-Fil, whereby God sent birds from Jahannama to put stones on those who had wronged him. They wanted to throw down the Kaaba. And since this is an Islamic university, we are taught that even Allah punished. Thanks for listening. My name is Samba Abdulrahman. I rest my case.
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. My name is Kisa Alex, and I would like to cross-examine my fellow debater. He brought to us of notice of the Supreme Court of 1977 that came up, maybe I don't know whether it's a resolution, it was a bill that children should be caned. But then, is he aware of the United Nations Convention for Children that took place in 2019? That was May 9th. Are you aware of that? If he's aware of that, is Uganda or is African nations one of the signatories of the United Nations? And we all know that the Supreme Court is a body that is responsible for all countries in the country. Then another question I would like to ask him is that we all know that punishment by children, caning is a sub-corporal punishment that has occurred. But then what we'd like to inquire from him, how much degree of success has it so far occurred? And then if it's so quick, then does it cure the disease we already have, or it's going to prevent the disease we already have?
Thanks for that question. You remember the question you've asked more than even 5 questions, but I would like to answer if time allows. Let me start with the first one. You said the Supreme Court, and you said we, some of the African countries, are under the Supreme Court. And if an article is passed, I'm aware that even Uganda is inclusive. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, our dear speakers. Next, we are going to the opposing side in just less than 5 minutes, please. In less than 5 minutes.
Once more, listeners, wassalamu alaikum. So, since it's a national radio, I would like to greet those friends of mine in another denomination that praise God. So, my name is Olimbwa Bernard. I'm doing literature in English. That's the education faculty. So, the motion today is punishment of children by caning, still necessary in African setting. Automatically, I tarnish this motion. How? I'm sorry for using this, but slay are those who cane children with the aim of grooming them up. So, the only appropriate way of raising a kid, it's not through caning. So, we must use other alternatives. How? We're having loss of privileges. If you want to groom a good kid, if he has done something wrong and you have been privileging that kid, for example, every Christmas or any Eid day, you've been providing that kid with clothes and others. So in case that kid misbehaves, you having a right of repriving or reducing those privileges from that kid. So that thing will make the kid to perform good things. So I automatically tarnish this thing of saying that caning a kid is the appropriate way of bringing up a kid. Then second point is we can punish a kid through providing more extra work. For example, if a kid does something, as a previous speaker said, the other point where you said that you did something wrong, but you were told to carry water. So that thing acted like you made a physical exercise, and on top of that, you learned a lesson not to do it again. But if you were whipped, you could make yourself, okay, it could be a usual thing whereby you could say, unless, or I do it or I don't do it, I will be just caned. So I just pity you brothers who said that caning a kid, it's the only. So the next point is here, there is timeouts. How? In case a kid does something which is not appropriate, then we should allow that kid to be alone. Or if not, we should give him time. For example, we're having homes of those people who mistreat, who misbehave. For example, remand homes like in Bale here. You can take there that kid to be groomed up. You've given that kid time to rest his mind, because you caning a kid, I will show you that you is caning that kid, you are right, no? So that one, I clear that motion, and I propose that caning of children should not be the only. Let me depict my example from P7 when I was in P7. By then we had the mathematics by. If you don't raise 50, you were caned. So we trained ourselves to withstand those sticks, you know? We could withstand those sticks, but because we knew that we are going to fail, and we withstood those sticks. But did we pass the way he wanted us to pass? So caning is not the thing.
You know, you're actually forgetting that we're not talking about only school. We're talking about a very large area right now. We're talking about at home.
So you want me to give an experience of me being in London where I've never been?
Let me set my question straight. Let's say in your community, someone is caught stealing. So you're going to put them down, talk to them. No, stealing is bad. Don't do this, give them punishment. They get out. You think that they will not go back to the same activity? How many things have been caned at the same time for the same thing? I mean, how many people have been spoken to about the same thing, but they keep going back over and over again?
just if I can buy your first, if I can buy her first statement, she answered us off. She answered her first. Yeah.
We don't have time. We don't have time. Let us go direct to our next speaker. We do not have time. And be brief, please.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. My name is God Andrew, doing bachelor's in human resource management. I will start by repeating our motion. Is punishment of children by caning is still necessary in African settings? I strongly agree. Caning can be means of maintaining order in societies. Gorodo Andrew. Yeah. In large numbers or groups such as schools, community gathering. I will give the examples when I was still in secondary, that is O level. It happens, I was among the banker benchers. When we got a student teacher who was a female, we used to make noise as banker benchers. So one day, there is a huge boy who said a big word and so abusive. It made all class to laugh. And what the madam did, he select one of us, and he gave one of my member, that is Nathan, 2 stocks. From that time, we used to maintain order in class. We are so attentive. So another thing in our societies, caning is a cultural tradition whereby all of us, we believe that if you do something wrong, we must be what? Caned. Even the Bible talks in Proverbs 13:24 that who spied the Lord hates his son, but who loves him carefully discipline him. This means that if you love someone, you cane him so that he can change the behaviors. So I'm ending by saying caning can improve on behaviors in society. Thank you. I remain as God Andrew.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Any questions from the opposing side? Just listen.
My name is Mand Wikili. Just briefly to say a question. My brother will not tell us the degree of punishment that is supposed to be applied to a child, and he also alluded to the Bible in Proverbs 13:24, where God said that you must punish such that you are to bring up a child. So God used the Proverbs. He will not necessarily mean caning. He used the Proverbs whereby it literally means you can talk to a person such that they are able to change. So you clarify for us such that we are able to understand.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, my comrade Wycliffe. So they say that there are many ways of killing a rat. You can decide to use a cane. Another thing, you have said that which degree? The degree I can say, just you lie down, only 2 strokes are enough for a child. Not just harming him or she. 2 strokes are enough. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just listen a second, please.
Okay, in less than a second, my fellow negator, the opposition side, the negator said that the proverb was meaning something different. But here we clearly see that when God said, "He who spares the rod hates his son, but he who loves his sons carefully to discipline him." What discipline was he talking about, the Almighty God?
Okay, thank you so much. Let us go direct to our next speaker. We do not have time. We have 7 minutes of our dear listener, and you're still listening to 93.1 Iuiu FM. And we are still here with the year ones of education as they battle themselves out on our motion that states, is punishment of children by caning necessary in an African setting? And we are going to our last speaker, who is on the opposing side.
Thank you so much, our dear moderator and the judges around. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Namgosa Gloria Masi, a student of education doing literature and English. I want to re-echo the motion that says, is punishing children by caning still necessary in an African setting? I want to bring it to our notice that caning is no longer necessary in this setting because of the technology that has come, because of the new world that we have in these days. I want to strongly tell you that today's world, which is referred to as the .com era, we don't have parents that still cane. If you do have the evidence, please present. And then I want to, the third speaker of the proposers said, actually didn't mention a point, but he kept on repeating his point. He just repeated the same point and he didn't answer the questions that he was asked. I want to bring it to your notice that even the apparently new curriculum of Uganda does not allow caning in schools. I am not looking at only a setting in school, but rather even at home where parents have adapted to new ways of how you can bring up a child other than caning a child. The new curriculum of Uganda has strongly and also disagreed with the issue of caning. We have very many schools that have adopted to new other alternatives of bringing up a child other than caning. I want to tell you, my dear proposers, that caning a child is more so of bringing up a rebel because this person is able to withstand pain and therefore this person is able to become a problem to the nation in the nearby future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for taking time. Any question from the... Okay.
This is Nakia Iuiu speaking. So, do you know that actually non-physical or other psychological torture is more long-lasting?
Do you know that physical torture comes by caning?
No. My question is, do you know that non-physical punishments have a longer psychological impact?
How? How?
They, first of all, they are cruel. They humiliate.
How?
Okay.
How?
Relax, chill. Let me ask you a question. You do something in class, then the teacher is like, okay, you know what? For this whole week, you're going to be less asleep in the class. That's fine.
Do you know caning causes physical harm?
No,
And if the physical harm is there, can I go to school?
Over-caning causes physical harm.
And so which caning are you talking about here?
Give an example and say 2 strokes are enough.
How many circumstances do we have caning? I want to give you evidence.
Question. Answer.
My question. I want to so many questions.
Don't question. You
Ask.
answer.
Ask.
You asked me, you already asked me a question. I don't.
It's not your job to answer.
My question.
Just ask and she
Asked
answers.
you a question. Do you know that non-physical punishments have a longer psychological impact?
No, they don't have.
On the child? Okay, that's enough.
Okay, just listen a second. Please, here.
Thank you, moderator. My name is Isa Ali. I would like to bring to notice my sister. You are saying like other forms of punishing a child, mostly psychological torture, has the after effects that are long lasting. But then we want to also bring to your notice that even caning of a child is going to psychologically torture the child, first of all, the child's going to feel like maybe he's not loved by the parents, or maybe the teachers have just a biasness towards that child. And therefore, the impacts of psychological punishment to a child are just as the same as the impacts of caning a child. Rather, but then the most fact is caning a child is more of corporal punishment.
Okay. You should know that it is only considered being biased if you're caning a child for no good reason. If you cane a child because she or he has done something wrong, and he knows he is on wrong. Exactly my point. I will only feel you're being biased to me if you're caning me for no good reason. But if I have stolen something and you cane me, I'm not going to be biased about that because I know I was on wrong. I will feel your bias if I've done nothing and you come and cane me. Caning is a punishment. It is not some kind of freedom to go around caning people. Honestly, I don't understand what you just said.
The rate at one who is going to perceive that it has been a punishment is just different.
Okay, thank you so much, our dear speakers and our dear listeners outside there. You're still tuned into 93.1 Iuiu FM, and we are having exactly 1 minute to the hour of 9 o'clock. And at exactly 9 o'clock, we are going to go for the time check. And when we come back, we are going to be having our judges telling us the results of what has been going on here. From 7 to 8 o'clock, we had from 7 to 8 o'clock, we had the first session that had Group 1 and Group 2, and from 8 o'clock up to 9, where we are right now, we had the second session that had Group 3 and Group 4. It is exactly 9 o'clock. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, our dear listener, to the education debate. It's exactly 2 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock. I am Akwi Jovia, and I have been the moderator of the debate. Let us go direct to our judges who are going to give us the results of both the first session and the second session of the debate. Please.
Yes, thank you so much, our dear students, for that beautiful debate. I must say that it has been more interesting than the first one, and you have to keep it up. Just like I said initially, we are looking at the introduction, which carries 20%. Which carries up to 20. Articulation of issues, which goes up to 40. Confidence, which is marked out of 10. Cross-examination skills, which is marked out of 10. Time management, which is marked out of 10, and then conclusion, which is also marked out of 10. So let me give the microphone to my colleague to start by giving us the results of the first debate briefly, and then he will also give us the results of the second debate. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to thank our dear participants for today's debate. You have exhibited talent in your argument, though there are some areas that need some improvement. Without wasting time, I would like to give general scores for the first group, which debated a motion should cell phone be allowed during class. The first judge awarded the proposers 281 grand total. The second judge awarded 232, making a total of 513 marks. For opposers, the Judge 1 awarded 294, Judge 2 awarded 266, making a total of 560. And therefore, basing on that result, I would request my colleague to declare the winner of the first group.
So the first group, the winner was the opposers with a total of 560, who beat the proposers who had a total of 513. Then, so that is according to the first debate.
Yeah.
Let us also read the results of the second one, which is the one we have just concluded right now.
Okay, are we ready to receive? Okay, without wasting any more time, the first judge awarded the proposer 276 marks, grand total. The second judge awarded 246, making a total of 522. That is for proposers. They called themselves affirmatives. Then for the negative brothers, the first judge awarded them 288. The second judge awarded them 254, making a total of 542. I therefore hand over to my colleague to announce the winner of the second group.
Yes, I know you've been noting down. The winner of the second debate were the opposers with a total of 542. Thank you so much for the debate. I wish you luck next time.
Thank you so much, our dear judges, our proposers and the opposers. A debate must
Just
have...
one second.
Okay.
I thank my colleague for the tireless effort of computing everything, and I would like to appreciate two members of this group.
Okay.
Actually, they're sitting opposite to each other.
Okay.
I just liked your presentations.
Okay.
God bless you all.
This